We're here in the British War Memorial Cemetery, Firenze, in the province of Ravenna in northern Italy. It is a long way from Cleaner Doneraile in North Cork, Ireland, where my brother Tim O'Callaghan and I, Nora Maroney, were born, in the same house as our beloved Uncle Tim and his 6 siblings a generation before us. Our visit today is one of joy and sadness intermingled. Joy that we have made it to see our uncle's final resting place, and sadness when we reflect on his short life. Tim was the 6th of 7 siblings, 6 boys and 1 girl, Liz, who was our mother. Their mother, Honora, died in 1920, aged 28, leaving the children ranging in age from 11 to 3 months old in the care of their father, now aged 74. Their father, Jeremiah, died 6 years later, aged 80. Ger, the eldest, was 17, and Dennis, the youngest, was 6. Tim was now 8 years old. Fast forward to January 1938. Tim went to England aged 19. By then, 2 of his brothers had died of the dreaded TB, and the eldest, Ger, was already very ill. Bill had been taken to the USA in 1930 by a neighbour who feared the same fate awaited him if he remained a cleaner. Tim worked as a barman in London till he enlisted in the army on July the 2nd, 1942. By then, he had met his future wife, Christina O'Barnes, and they married on the 27th of November, 1943. He served in North Africa, Sicily, and then moved on to Italy with his regiment, the 2nd Battalion Royal Inniskilling Fusiliers. Tim was only 25 years old when he stepped on a mine at Argenta Gap on Friday, April the 13th, 1945, 15 days before the Germans surrendered in Italy. His young life, full of dreams, had been tragically ended. Tim left behind his young wife, Christina, and his 1-year-old daughter, Geraldine. She had never got a chance to meet her father. There was always a special bond between our family and Chrissy and Geraldine. They came to us every summer for almost 6 weeks. Geraldine was more like a sister to us than a cousin, and Liz and Chrissy were more like sisters than sisters-in-law. Although Uncle Tim was dead, he never seemed dead to us as children. Ma'am continually spoke of him as if he was still alive, but just not around. My mother was also a widow at a young age, our father having died in October 1952, so she and Chrissy also had that unenviable status in common. Geraldine was a lonely child from London and was thrown in at the deep end when she visited us, her 7 cousins, from the heart of rural Ireland. In the 1950s, we had no electricity or running water, but she rode in, learned to share, and thrived on the rough and tumble. She played cabbie house with us, learned to ride and fall off a donkey, ride and fall off a bicycle, climb shades and trees, draw water from the pump, and save hay for the cow. We so looked forward to their visit every summer. Geraldine kept in constant contact with my mother until Ma'am died in 2003. Through the years, Geraldine forged her own path, married Jim Brown, and together they had 5 children. Chrissy lived to a remarkable age of 97, and in a poignant twist of destiny, died 1 week after her daughter Geraldine in May 2017. Omnia vicit amor, ni feder an gro ad a haru. Love conquers all. On February the 9th of this year, 2024, Geraldine's children, Stephen, Kevin, and Nicola, and their spouses, visited their grandfather's grave here at Firenze. They brought with them their grandmother Chris's ashes and had them interred here with her beloved Tim, united again after 79 years.
I am Tim Lizzie Farrell's son. Tim Farrell was awarded the Military Medal for exceptional bravery in battle in October 1944. And I am about to read the citation, which was written by his commanding officer at the time, Major John Kerr. On the night of the 23rd, 24th of October 1944, Corporal O'Farrell was commanding a section of the 13th Platoon C Company, 2nd Battalion, the Royal Enniskilling Fusiliers. The company objective was a hill feature MR 029259. Number 13 Platoon was the left forward position of the company. Halfway up the hill, the platoon came under fire at close range from 3 different machine gun points. Most of the fire came down on Corporal O'Farrell's section, and he, showing complete disregard for his own personal safety, quickly decided on a route forward and got his section into position, from where he led his men in a bayonet charge against one of the machine gun posts. Despite the enemy's fire and grenade throwing, Corporal O'Farrell went into the charge well ahead of his section, firing his machine gun and killing and wounding most of the enemy in the first machine gun position. Carrying on to the second position, he again accounted for more of the enemy and took several prisoners. By the skill, tenacity, and dogged determination with which Corporal O'Farrell led and inspired his section, the enemy posts were wiped out, and it was largely due to this that the company gained its objective.
Tim mentioned Uncle Tim being awarded a medal for bravery, etc., posthumously. Chrissy, however, did not attend the ceremony to accept this medal. She was objecting to the lack of meaningful support given to the widows and surviving families. A couple of medals weren't going to butter much bread. Mrs. Ryan, a neighbour, thought the opportunity shouldn't be missed. She was dying to see the palace and the king. So she dolled herself up, got the relevant invitation and papers from Chrissy, and presented herself as Tim's wife. She brought home the medals. The O'Farrell siblings were very united and kept in touch on a regular basis via letters and photographs. Tim's brother Bill, who I have already mentioned, served in the USA Army and was posted in Paris as Tim and his comrades progressed north through Italy. I would like to read a letter which Tim wrote to Bill, dated the 7th of March 1945, just 5 weeks before his death. Dear Bill, just a few lines in answer to your welcome letter I received yesterday. I was glad to hear you are well, as this leaves me, myself, thank God. Also, Chrissy and Geraldine are fine. I receive mail nearly every day from her. Frances writes often to me. I had a letter this morning from Lizzie. She is quite well. Also Jack, Dennis, and the family. Well, Bill, how are things with you in France? You have been to Paris. Well, it must be a fine place. I wonder if I will be lucky myself to get as far as that. But I believe that's the way I'll go home. Or will we two meet before you will go back to New York? Well, I hope so, as it's about time now. Well, Bill, I've sent some photos to Liz and Francis. They have reached Chrissy, but I can't say if Francis has received them yet. Chrissy is sending you some, and if possible, send me one of yourself, as I would like to see you in uniform. Have you ever met anyone you knew since you came out? As for myself, I haven't, but all our officers are Irish, and our company commander is West Cork, and is good to me. We often go on the Vino, that is wine out here, but it's good to have some natives. Well, I will close down now for a while, here hoping this letter finds you well, as I am, thank God. From your fond brother, Taig O'Farrell. P.S. That's a hell of an address you have now.
My name is Sean O'Callaghan, a grandnephew of Tim O'Farrell. I'm going to read a poem by a poet, Tom Kettle, who was born in Dublin and died in the Battle of the Somme, 1916. He was an Irish nationalist who went to war for home rule in the freedom of Belgium. We picked this poem because he introduced his daughter, and not to be a father to his daughter, Georgie. To my daughter Betty, in wiser days, my darling rosebud bloom, to beauty proud as was your mother's prime, and desired delayed incredible time, to ask why I abandoned you, my own, and the dear heart that was your baby throne, to die sweet death, and oh, they'll give you rhyme and reason. Some will call the thing sublime, and some decry it in the knowing truth. So here, while the mad guns curse overhead, and tired men sigh, God for conscience room, know that we fools, now with the foolish dead, died not for flag, nor king, nor emperor, but for a dream born in a herdsman shed, and for the secret scripture of the poor.
In Tim's final letter to his brother Bill in Paris, he signed the letter with the Gaelic form of his name, Taig O'Farrell. This indicates a love and affinity for the Irish language. I will recite a verse of a lament written in Gaelic by Patrick Pearse, who was executed in Kilmainham jail on the 3rd of May 1916. The emotions expressed in this verse might easily be ascribed to his wife Chrissy or his sister Lizzie on his hearing of his death. I will start now. Bron ar y mas se gwf prisio, dod ag my gras dog me cita, gan carad gan cwmpanach fod yion my hisio, is my lein sham lor, is me cuida. I will translate. Bron ar y mas se gwf prisio, sadness and death. It is the blackness of my soul. Dod ag my gras dog me cita, my love was taken from me, and I was left broken. Gan carad gan cwmpanach for yion mo hisio, without a friend or companion in my home. Ac on leon siom blor is me queen, but this great sadness in the core of my being, and I am weeping.
Today, May the 18th, 2024, in this beautifully maintained War Memorial Cemetery at Faenza, we, Tim O'Callaghan, his son Sean, his son-in-law Tom O'Brien, and I, his sister Nora Maloney, cherish the memory of our uncle and granduncle, his wife Chrissy, and their daughter Janet. Slán go fór, chuile sábh agus go gasta a réisling mi hinnandí.